Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Hearted Podcast. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening today. I missed the last 2 weeks' episodes because, well, I'll get into it. But things just were weird the past couple months. And I thought I was really taking care of myself, but turns out I was burnt out. And then the first time, I kind of actually rested, I was like, oh my God, I need so much more of this. And so today I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I took a break and maybe some tips to help get you out of a funk if you're kind of feeling the same way I was and just feel like you can't shake the just wanting to lay in bed all day and not do dishes and not be motivated to do anything. Because sometimes that really sucks when you're in that space and in that mindset and you just can't shake it. Now, I felt like this several different times over my life, but for whatever reason, the past 2 months were just really overwhelming and hard. And I couldn't just make myself do the work that I needed to do. And so I just gave myself permission to take a break, to take a breath, to really recharge and figure out what exactly was missing in my life and how I could fill my cup back up and be ready to get back to work and get back to, keeping up with my house and getting back together with my friends and everything like that. So here in Ohio, COVID has definitely ramped back up. And I think that is one thing that has really added to my anxiety and my stress is I've not been getting out of the house because I'm worried. It's all so sad and hard to hear of people struggling with COVID. And so I've kind of just put myself on lockdown again. And it kind of feels like I did last March and April when I wasn't going anywhere and I just felt so stuck and hopeless. I think another thing that contributed to me just kind of being unmotivated or anxious about getting back to work was not setting up a solid vision for my next couple weeks. So, not even that long ago, in the episode where I talked about self help books that actually helped me, I talked about having a 12-week plan, how I did that for the first 12 weeks. And then my vacation was going to be my break week, and then I was going to get back to work. Well, as most of you know, when you go on vacation, especially to a place like Disney, it is not relaxing. I did not have a spare minute to think about my business or my home life or anything that I wanted to work on. And then when I got back home, we had like a super long drive home. I was exhausted. I was not motivated. I didn't want to do anything. But thankfully, I had recorded some episodes ahead of time and found a little bit of motivation to get some additional episodes done. But as the weeks went on, I just felt like I had this sense of why the hell am I doing this? Why am I doing anything? I think looking back, I was definitely depressed, but I don't know exactly why. And it wasn't like I wasn't happy throughout the day. I was having a blast with Harper. I decided to take a break from Instagram. I haven't posted on there in forever. And it was so good for me to not be thinking every day, like, oh, what do I need to post on my story today? Can't forget to do that. Or I would have a push notification and I would forget to actually post the post. So then I would be hard on myself and freaking out about not actually posting what I needed to do. And I just felt like being on social media was really taking away from the time I was having with Harper. And she's just only going to be little for so long and she's getting so big and growing so fast. And so I just wanted to take some time to slow down and really enjoy the little bit of the summer that we had left with her and be fully present. Months ago, I deleted Facebook off of my phone because we know how I feel about Facebook. But Instagram, I found myself, that was the very first thing I would go to every single time I opened my phone. And shortly after that, I realized it was just a habit. I didn't actually enjoy the platform. I didn't enjoy most of the accounts I was following. So then I just tried to catch myself anytime I was going to the app, but it wasn't for anything constructive or wasn't going to be something I would actually enjoy. And then I removed it from my home screen, how your iPhone lets you do that now. So I didn't totally delete the app, but I just got it out of my face, out of my line of sight as soon as I opened my phone. And then I kind of got scared of the app, which sounds silly, But that's really how I felt. I was scared to open it. I was scared to see what messages I had. I was scared to see what I missed or what was going on in the world that I just was trying to protect myself from and protect my mind from, if that makes sense. And so then a couple weeks ago, I started really going through the people that I follow. I muted a lot of accounts that I kind of still wanted to like remember that I followed them or knew those people, but I didn't want to see all of their information all the time. And I unfollowed several people. I still have not gotten through my list because, of course, I was following like 800 people, and it's like exhausting just to go through that and be like, who was this person? Oh, yeah. I do like what they do, but like I don't want it in my face every day, and just making all of those decisions on what I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep. And so I've also gone back and forth on just shutting down my personal Instagram account because it's always been such a place of stress for me and pressure that I've put on myself. And it hasn't been something I've enjoyed in so long, which I hate. I used to love sharing everything, sharing pictures, sharing my story. And now I just find it so draining and defeating sometimes. And so I'm thinking maybe I'll just stick to the Good Hearted Podcast Instagram account and push out these episodes and talk about things related to the podcast on there. And that can be like my safe little corner of the internet because I haven't even been able to bring myself to promote new episodes, which again, it's so sad, but here we are. And I'm just being totally open and vulnerable and letting you know I'm still trying to show up, but I really suck at it sometimes. I'm the kind of person that is all or nothing. And that's something I've talked about before, that I kind of hate that about myself. I hate that I can't just juggle things or have some kind of balance where I can post on social media to help grow my business and my platform and to connect with people. But I can also have rigid boundaries that I don't cross because I don't trust myself to not cross those boundaries by either looking at something that is going to drain my energy for the day or spending way too much time on the platform or just feeling that imposter syndrome every single time I open the damn app. And even like today, I was so excited to have all day to sit down and record, take my time getting ready, take my time to do a couple episodes if I feel up to it, because most of the time I'm just squeezing in my recordings in between naps or drop offs or literally anything else. It's squeezed in. I'm sweating. I don't feel cute. I don't feel prepared all the time. And so I just wanted to take that time to really be slow and intentional with today's episodes that I decided to record. But I woke up at 4:30 a.m. with a migraine. I got out of bed, took my migraine pills, whatever. Then earlier this morning, I kid you not, I sneezed for an hour straight. My allergies have been insane lately. So I like took all of the allergy pills. I even took Dayquil, which really says how much I love you because I hate cold medicine. Dylan gives me so much shit for it, but I literally act like a kid. Several weeks ago, I took a shot of Fireball better than I took that shot of Dayquil just now in the kitchen because I hate it, but I knew that that was what was going to make me feel good. And I also have my throat lozenges, whatever, cough drops. I don't know how you say that word. But I'm like loaded up because I was so excited to get back in this rhythm and to talk to you again because honestly, I've missed you. I feel like I've shut myself out from everybody. And it wasn't until I was really forced to reconnect with some people that I realized, oh, like maybe that's why I was feeling so depressed, so down, so burnt out, so unenergized. And so that's kind of what I want to get into today with this episode. Now, when I was in that space a couple weeks ago, I didn't want to hear anybody's advice on how to get out of a funk. So, like, sorry. But just keep these things in mind for the next time you do get in that hard place. I feel like a lot of people are going to struggle with it if the pandemic gets worse again, or if where you live is really cold and in the wintertime you get seasonal affective disorder like everybody here in Ohio does. So just try to take care of yourself the best you can. Know that it's okay to take a break, and it's okay to talk about it and be like, yeah, I took a break. Sorry, not sorry, because I need to take care of myself. And so please just know in the future, if there's a Monday that a podcast episode isn't up right away, that doesn't mean that I've forgotten about you. That doesn't mean I'm leaving. Maybe I just need some time off. And since I tried to record some things in advance because, I have a crazy toddler that's running around right now, I don't always have the time every single week to sit down and record a new episode. So I might not be able to tell you, hey, next week's going to be late. Just like, take a breather with me while I take that break. And the next week, hopefully we will be back on schedule with our Monday uploads. Okay, so like I talked about, when I got back from vacation in early July, I did not at all feel rested, rejuvenated, re energized when I got home. It was the opposite. I was totally drained. We had a great trip, but that doesn't mean it wasn't exhausting. And I didn't even feel the energy to like post pictures from our trip. And honestly, I was just being a little selfish and just kind of wanted to keep it to myself. Although I feel like I kind of do want to post. I don't know. I go back and forth on that stuff all the time. And maybe I'm the only one because I know I'm a little crazy and I overthink everything. So over Labor Day weekend, my really good childhood friend was coming into town. Her partner was going to be at a bachelor party, and so we were going to hang out. She was going to stay here. And at first, I was super anxious and nervous about it. Not to have her here, I was worried about being weird. I just haven't been around people that aren't like my close friends that live here and like see me regularly in such a long time. And I've just become socially awkward since the pandemic started. I don't know if anybody else has been that way, but I just feel like a different person sometimes because of how anxious I get about interacting with people when normally that is what lights me up and refuels me. So as it was getting closer, I was really excited to see her. I was cleaning the house, not that much, but a little bit. And we actually had a really great time while she was here. We had a lot of great time to talk and catch up and go out and see a couple things and eat some good food. And we actually even got a tattoo together. And so I missed her, like, as soon as she was leaving, and I didn't really think too much of it. I was just like, "Man, that was such a good visit. I'm so glad that she came up." Even though we only got to see each other for a couple days, it was, like, perfect. And the next day after she left, Dylan was like, "You are doing so much better since she was here." And I was just like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "You're just different. Like, you're kind of like your old self again. I think it was really good for you to have her here, for such a good friend that knows you so well, to be here in your space, to see you be a mom." And he was like, "I don't know. You're just acting different. You just seem different. You seem happier." And honestly, that like makes me a little emotional thinking about that, but I didn't realize how much I needed that connection until Dylan pointed it out because he was right. All of a sudden I felt like I could do another podcast episode, that I could make some more time to take care of myself. We even ended up inviting friends over that night for a bonfire, and we had some drinks and we had a great time when normally I would have been like, "I'm too tired." Like, I'm being lazy. I don't want to see anybody. And I definitely still pull the lazy card every now and then, or, decide not to commit to something because I don't think that I'll mentally be able to handle it. But at the same time, I am an extrovert. No matter how much I start acting like an introvert, I am still an extrovert. I still need that outside connection. I need to hear people's stories. I need to be seen in my element. Being a mom can be so lonely and isolating. And it's just nice when people want to see my kid. They want to see me. They want to spend time with me, and they understand when I'm running late because we had an accident, or, her nap was off. And so, like, we're having to meet for lunch at a different time. And I just so appreciate the people in my life who have taken time to connect with me in this rough season where sometimes I forget to shower. Like, Dylan will be like, "Are you taking a shower tonight?" And I'm like, "I don't know. When did I shower last?" Like, I don't know. Because you get in the same routine every single day, especially with being stuck at home, and it just all feels like a blur. It feels like you're doing nothing but everything all day long, if that makes sense. Like, at the end of the day, dishes won't be done, dinner won't be made, laundry won't be folded, but at the same time, I'm exhausted because I feel like I've done everything at 100 miles an hour all day long. And so, as much as I want to and need to connect with people, that's just not always on my radar. But I am going to try now to be more intentional about that because I need it. And I think my friends need it too. They have been pulling a lot of the weight in our relationship since I became a mom. And I just want to do my part now that things have kind of leveled out with Harper and I have a better handle on what I'm doing and I'm ready to prioritize myself again. I've also been trying to pay more attention to my home and what doesn't feel good to me, what I love about my home, what I hate about my home, what small things we can work on. Because as you probably know, Dylan and I bought a fixer upper again, even though we said we weren't going to, but we had these huge, big expectations for when we moved into this house. We thought we were going to get so many projects done so quickly. And surprise, surprise, that did not happen. So then this year we said, we are not spending all of our money on house projects like we normally do. We're going to take some trips. We're going to do stuff. We're going to spend our money on other things. And that was good. And then I kind of got bored again, kind of just thought about all the things I hated about our house, like our kitchen. That's like my least favorite thing. Oh my gosh, sorry. I just had like a sneezing fit. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, we were talking about how it was great to not do house projects this year, basically until it wasn't, until I just was like sick of everything in our house, especially our kitchen. So, first things first, I really started decluttering things, and I've been doing this basically since the spring, I think, and just gone kind of one room or one area of a room at a time and worked my way all the way through and back. Although there's probably still stuff I could declutter. I haven't even touched the garage yet. That will probably be a fall or next year project. And so a couple months ago, I was listening to a Beautiful Mess podcast, and I was listening to the episode where Elsie and one of her employees was talking about doing like these mini renovations before they do a big one. I will definitely link the episode in the description, but essentially, they were talking about doing these like mini remodels before they do a big giant remodel. And it just kind of got my wheels turning. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we try to do that to our kitchen? We are years away from doing a big, like $20,000 plus kitchen renovation. And that's even if we end up staying in this house long enough to go through with that decision. But Dylan and I know just enough to be dangerous with our house projects. And so I started doing research on okay, what can I do to put like $400 or $500 max into a kitchen kind of refresh just to freshen it up because our kitchen is sad. It is dark. It is dingy. It is old. I hate cooking in there. I hate being in there. And so I was like, if I need to spend so much time in the kitchen, and I used to love our old kitchen. Even though it was so teeny tiny, there was a lot of light and just enough counter space and cabinets for us. And it was just so nice and light and airy. And now we have a gallery kitchen that literally one of the lights, like one of the sides, does not even work anymore. And so we were like, we just need to refresh this thing. And hopefully that will make it just feel a little bit better because the rest of the living space in our house looks relatively updated. I mean, it's not perfect. We did it ourselves, but still, the kitchen is just so out of place. And so I've already painted the backsplash, which is actually a super cute color. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put up a little picture of it here. It looks kind of weird right now because I still have blue countertops and, we have our old cabinet doors that have all these divots in it. So we're filling those with wood filler, but anyway, it will look good eventually, but we're giving ourselves plenty of time to work on this project. Normally, if this was Morgan and Dylan from like 5 years ago, we would have got it done in a weekend and been done with it and been exhausted afterwards, but still, it would have all been done. Now we're just taking it a little bit at a time. So this is probably like 2 weeks since I started on this project and just again, a little bit at a time. It's just kind of a therapeutic thing for me. I can sit in there and listen to my true crime podcast. And it's actually really nice to be working on something again in our home. Since honestly, we've been doing that since we got married and owned our first home. And something that kind of goes along with like making our house a place that I feel good in, a place that I enjoy being in, is just getting things organized. I feel so much better when things have homes, and Dylan and I both know where they are. So I have been going crazy with my label maker. I've been labeling everything, and I actually just went to Home Goods yesterday. And I mean, this is literally like crack for me. Like, I went and got the organizational like trays for my, we're no longer going to call it a junk drawer in my kitchen, but a utility drawer so that junk doesn't end up in there. But I got a nice big one that takes up basically the whole drawer and has little dividers so I can just keep what I need in there versus God knows what was in my junk drawer. Like, usually most of my house was well put together, things were pretty organized, but I always had 1 to 2 kitchen drawers that were a freaking mess and I never knew what was in it and I was honestly scared to open them. So just by taking a little bit of time and money to just make our home somewhere that feels more put together, more permanent almost. I feel like that's making me enjoy it more because I'm putting in that time to nurture it and to take care of it and just be intentional and make it a space that's easier for me to enjoy anyway. I'm also trying to be okay with just doing less in general. I have always been the person who was the overachiever, who was a part of every single club I could get into, who had all the friends, all different friend groups, who had things to do all day, every day, over the weekend, in the evenings. And I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And so, like today, I could be doing 1,000 other things right now. But instead, I'm choosing to sit down and do something that makes me feel good and makes me excited. And then I will probably have the energy to go work on dishes or laundry or whatever. So I'm trying to just be okay with our dining room table being a mess while I'm working on the kitchen. I'm also just trying to be okay with like toys being all over the place during the day and just picking them up once at night so that while Harper's asleep, I can take 20 minutes to read a book that I'm really into instead of taking 20 to 45 minutes cleaning up the whole room. She is pretty good about helping me clean up, but she's still not even 2 yet. So she's not really, into picking up her own toys just yet. But at the same time, she's just going to drag them back out. So I'm like, who cares if they sit here while she naps? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. And if you knew me, you're probably like, oh my God, that would be the end of the world for you. And yes, normally it would be, but I'm trying to do less. I'm trying to do more throughout the day that takes care of me so that I can take care of Harper and everybody else in my life a little bit better. So I also get up pretty early in the morning, like around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I used to get up and start working right away. Now I'm really trying to enjoy my cup of coffee, to read a book, watch a show that I'm into, like something that is kind of me time instead of me staying up super late and being exhausted the next day. I can go to bed at a decent time and know that I will have that time in the morning to really do something that's for me, even if it's not like productive. I don't have to feel bad about that because I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm getting out of bed and I'm drinking coffee and I'm not changing out of my pajamas or putting my contacts in. I'm literally just taking it slow in the morning because I'm going to be running around like a crazy person the rest of the day, and so it's just nice to know it's okay to do that. So if you need to do that too, it's totally fine. Do less. Try to only do the dishes, after dinner, after you've made more of a mess. I mean, I used to find myself probably 3 to 4 times throughout the day. I would stop what I was doing to go do dishes. And it just seemed like I was wasting so much time doing that versus spending maybe 20, 45 minutes in the evening doing it all at once. I also like don't do laundry until it is literally overflowing. Like, my laundry needs done right now. But, there's so many other things that I'd rather do with my day that laundry can wait. I'll have plenty of clothes to wear. And the last thing I found that I really needed to do to keep from getting burnt out or to just not run so dry all the time is to ask for a break. So on Monday, I went and got my hair done in the evening. Looks so cute. My girl Rachel hooked me up. And so like I was gone for quite a while and I got to read my book while I was there and it was great. And then yesterday, Tuesday, Harper was just having kind of a rough day. She's been teething again and Although she was really in a good mood most of the day, she was so clingy. She was attached to me all day long. And so I texted Dylan and I was like, when you get home from work, I just need like a little break. I just need to run to Home Goods. That's where I got my organizational stuff. And I was like, I just want to run out there by myself and I'll come home and then we'll have dinner and bedtime and it'll be great. And, he didn't hesitate. He was totally fine with that. And then when I got home, I was like, man, I just realized like I already had a break on Monday when I got my hair done. Like I kind of feel bad that I needed a break again. But at the same time, I'm glad that I asked you for it because I feel so much better now. Just that I could step away for a few minutes, not have a little toddler like glued to me, although I love having her on my lap all the time. And really, she is such a good and content girl. But still, sometimes you need a break. And just when I was feeling that overwhelm, that being touched out, just like needing a little bit of time to myself to like not have to talk to anybody, just like go do something that made me happy in that moment. It was like I snapped right back into mom mode and I was totally ready to make dinner and to do bedtime stuff and enjoy the rest of my evening with Dylan. And I feel like if I wouldn't have taken that break, then those feelings may have started to simmer and build up. And maybe if she had been just as clingy today or tomorrow, like maybe by Friday, I would be having a meltdown. So it's okay to just ask for a break, even if you feel like you've asked for several, and just try to reach out to somebody to ask for help or to take something off of your plate. Or just schedule in that time to take a break. And for me, a lot of time my breaks are active breaks where I go out somewhere and I do something. I walk around IKEA, I go to Home Goods and TJ Maxx. Sometimes it's me like sitting in my bedroom reading alone, but that's not normally a decent break for me because sometimes I still struggle turning my mind off. So sometimes it's good for me to totally get out of the house and remove myself from the situation for just a little bit. And then I feel so much better when I get back. So, again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for hanging on, even though I missed 2 uploads. And I promise that will not be a regular thing. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you giving me grace while I, navigate motherhood. I definitely don't do it as gracefully as I thought I would. Motherhood is way harder than I think I had any idea. So, props to all of the moms and all of the people who are pouring into children and raising them and taking care of them because it's a lot of work emotionally, physically, mentally. And so, to all the caretakers, to all of the nannies and teachers, and everybody who is building our next generation, you're doing good work. And that includes pet moms too. So, anyway, that was my long little ramble and pep talk. So, if you feel like you need to take a break, please take one. Try to fight burnout, but like if it hits you, it hits you. Ride the wave. Like it sucks. It sucks. And sometimes you can't just pull yourself out of it. I tried so many times the last 2 months and it wasn't working. It wasn't working for me. So, maybe you're way stronger than me. I hope that you are. Either way, I hope you have a great day. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.